Hi guys, it's me Hermione Kaling. Welcome back to my channel. The last time I talked to you guys about Forrest Gump, I told you guys that I would be reading a certain book called Given by Nandi and that I would be putting up a review about it. So here we are. Here's the book that I promised last time. It's called Given by Nandi. It's a Wattpad book. Also, it won an award. It won a Watty award in the year 2018, I guess. Yeah, 2018. So this book is published by Penguin Random House with collaboration with Wattpad. So before anything, I'd like to tell you guys that this book is something. It's really something. It's unlike anything I've read before. It's very unique, very original, and there are so many things that I learned from it, especially the culture and the kind of magic that they use. Everything, dragons, and yeah. This was a pretty wild ride. I'd like to read out the book description for you so that you get a gist of what the story is about. Here we are. Jenny is a fierce warrior princess, but her father is sick with a wasting illness and she must find a cure. Should she fail, she faces losing her father and exile from her home in the kingdom of Yerba. With only her wits, strength, and sacred rune lore to protect her, she must travel the strange, magical, and unwelcoming empire of Cress. And no one warned her about the dragon, especially not about Wace. Wace is a shapeshifter, sometimes a man, at other times a dragon. When he claims Jenny as his destined partner, they are tied together by the bonds of fate. Jenny is no man's or dragon's plaything, but other magic must be at work, because despite everything that she thought she knew, Wace might just be her best hope to save her father and her home in the kingdom. So that is a description. And something I learned about, the first thing that I learned in this book is about rune lore. It's something I've never heard before, mostly because I don't usually read fantasy books. I'm mostly into general fiction and all that, young adult, but not really into magic. And it's my first time reading anything about rune lore, so I'm glad that I actually found this book. And also, this book has such great world building. We have a map of the whole world of this book on the first page of the book, and it's pretty cool. We also have dragons, and we have lands called Espana, Cress, Minato, Watadzi, Sunrise Isles, Moonrise Isles. So the protagonist of this book, Jenny, is a princess, is from the land of Yerba. And she traveled to the land of Cress, which is up on the north, in hopes of finding cure for her father's sickness. I'm gonna try to give this review without spoilers. So the story as a whole is very neat. The structure is very neat. We are not confused by the world building. Especially the world building is just awesome. There are so many different cultures in it. Like Jenny, when I read about Jenny's world, I imagined Africa, and then when I read about the Cress, I imagined Europe, something like that, and especially French. I don't know why, because I kind of found the word mademoiselle, which is a way of calling women in this book, something like mademoiselle. So I kind of imagined French. Also, we have new words from the book. The first word that I learned is something called or something like that. It spells N apostrophe and E, and I don't know how I should actually pronounce it, but I chose to pronounce it as N, something like that. And then we have the word called H-E. To tell you the truth, I honestly don't know how to pronounce any of these words, but I'm just going with whatever I can, and the spelling goes A-C-H-E apostrophe E, so I kind of pronounce it as H-E. That's not everything. There are so many other words that I can't remember right now, but these words are so unique to this book that it makes the whole story more original. Also, it's not just about the names of people or certain words, but these people also have different gods. Like people from the Yerba and people from the Cress has different gods. Like mostly when they swear, the Crussian people would say kindly watch, or something like that, a god that watches over them. And when the people from the Moonrise Isles swear it's not exactly swear. Jenny usually prays, and she prays to the mothers and fathers who are protecting them. Mother Shu, I'm so sorry, I can't remember the gods, but yeah, she does that. And ways does it the other way. And the description of this book is very detailed, and the pacing is not too fast or not too slow. The romance was kind of slow, but it's worth it. And the best character development that I found in this book is in Waste. He was very rash and arrogant in the beginning. The first impression that he gave Jenny was really bad. It was as if he was demanding everything from her and without even considering what she feels. So Jenny kind of disliked him in the very beginning. But that is, I could understand his actions because he also had a past. Like, it's not really his problem, it's mostly to do with his father, but it kind of affected him too, and there were certain things that goes about him, people talking things that are not true about him, so maybe he was trying to put up this guard. It's not what people expect him to be. But by the end of the book we can see that he changed. He became less arrogant, he became more understanding, and before saying anything or before doing anything, he considers about Jenny's sentiments first. He tries to not offend her, because the first few times they talked, he talked about wifing her and then making her do women duties like washing, cooking. It was really so hard to listen to, and it was really not something Jenny would comply with. So, but yeah, by the end of the book everything changed and they became more understanding to one another. They fell in love. This should be a review without spoilers, but we saw that coming anyway. Talking about the character of Jenny, she's fierce and independent, and that's what I really love about her. She tries to do things on her own, like she does not depend to anybody. She tries to get most of the things done on her own, and it's adorable that she also has a vulnerable side. Like, she's a warrior. She's a warrior, also she's a warrior. Like, she worries a lot about, she cares about her family a lot. She worries about her father the most because he's sick at home. Throughout the journey, she never, no matter what she's been through, no matter if it's good or bad or anything, she does not forget her parents or her siblings at home. She always thinks about them. And what I love most is that for everything that is, she gives thanks to the mothers and fathers. Also, she constantly prays to the gods for help. It shows the humble side of her. Although she knows she's capable of things and she knows she still is open to the fact that she is vulnerable. So that's what I love most about it. Now, coming to a few things that didn't quite meet my expectation is that I kind of expected more action from this book. Maybe that I judged the book by its cover too much, because I saw this dragon and this runes written on her arms, so I was like, okay, there's gonna be dragon war, there's gonna be people fighting magic to magic, dragons to dragons, and I was kind of expecting that, but it didn't happen. But it shouldn't be taken that the book is bad because there were less action, because there were actions too in this book, many of them, but they were just not the kind of actions that I expected. Also, one thing is that I did not find, there was not anything that I could call the climax of the book. It's not that it's not interesting, but that most of the events that has been happening since the beginning, a lot has been happening since the beginning, so maybe it's because all of these things are equally important, which is why I could not really point out something which is like more important than the rest. Like everything made up to the next. So I'm not sure how I should speak further about this book without giving you spoilers, so I'm just gonna wrap it up here. But before I say goodbye, I'd like to tell you guys that this book is worth it, and that especially if you are a teen or if you are in your early 20s or I guess till late 20s, you would really love this book. This is just for you. It is so thrilling, and like there are so many things you can learn from this, and so many things you can learn from the main protagonist itself, Jenny. She is a badass. I love her a lot. So yeah, read this book, buy it, it's worth it. This book kept me on the edge from the very beginning, but it took me about a month to finish it, not because the book was not interesting, but because I was so busy with university and exams, practicals, classes, everything. And the next thing I'm going to be reading is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, and I promised you a review about this book as well, so stay tuned and don't go anywhere. I promise that I won't take as much time as I took to finish Given, because the lockdown is back at my place and I have more time to myself. So this won't take too much time. Stay in tune. Bye bye. Thank you so much for watching.